About all three of us say the meeting comes to order.
So be it.
All right, that's good. Three here. Where's the flag of the United States?
Are you, hold on, are you on already?
Yeah, we're ready to go whenever.
Okay, we gotta give him the cue so he can start recording.
Yeah, we're good. Go ahead.
Did you
We'll
record
continue.
that we started?
Go ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, if you don't mind, I would like to make a motion that we appoint you as a commissioner, chairman.
I second.
Y'all ganged up on me. If you want, I will. You're just as able to take it as I am. You sure you don't want to volunteer?
Oh, no, you're fine. You're okay.
Okay.
So motion made and seconded. All those for say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
I voted anyways.
So, okay.
Okay. Motion carries. Election of vice chair. Oh, who
I nominate-
takes over when I'm
I
not
want to
here?
make a nomination to nominate Pablo Gonzalez as the vice chair.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, Pablo. I might not be at the next one.
Okay.
Pablo's the vice chair. Selection and designation of the two commission alternate members. Oh,
Here's a list of the form, we finally completed it today.
Okay.
you'll give us a copy of it too?
Yeah, I'm missing some numbers, so I wanted to get the numbers before I give you all the copies, but that's just so that y'all can, and y'all can pick y'all's alternates from there.
My information is correct.
Phone number?
Yeah, phone number, email is correct.
Okay. I can get you Noe's email address. I don't
And
think I've got
Ty.
Ty's phone number though.
Phone number.
I think I might have one, but I have to go through my emails.
Okay, so we gotta select two to be alternates out of this list? Okay.
Well, they're not commissioners or what? That list is not, I
Apparently
thought they were
they're,
all commissioners.
that's what I thought. Everybody was sworn in.
Well, I can speak, Rick.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one here, election of vice chair, selection designate two commission alternate members. So they're looking for two extra members that you've already notified, correct?
No.
Or are they
Steve
choosing
said-
out?
Yeah, out of all these seven,
Mhm.
two of them are,
Okay,
will be appointed as alternates.
Two of these seven are alternates.
okay, so this is an alternate chair and alternate vice chair, I would assume. I think that's what you're voting for. I didn't get clarification on this, but that's what I think it is.
No, I don't think it's that way.
Let me see. Okay,
I think it's the selection and designation of two alternate members.
Over and above those.
Should five
Oh, so,
not appear, I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
I think it's, yeah, five real
are true commissioners.
true commissioners and two alternates.
Two alternates.
Yeah, that's two, I guess.
They're still gonna have to come too, aren't they,
Yes.
to be
Mhm.
able to fill in?
Okay.
I guess those two will not be voting members
Yeah.
Right?
unless,
Unless somebody's missing,
From the five.
yes.
they're filling out for somebody that doesn't show.
Well, what's your pleasure on, it's too late to take your name off.
I guess we can open this up for discussion.
Yeah,
As far as,
This one doesn't either.
The
It doesn't-
the ordinance isn't in there either?
In here? No, not that I see.
I guess we need to clarify whether it's gonna be 2 members over and above that, or 2 members from there first. But
it's not really gonna be a problem if we don't do this tonight, is it?
Well, you can table this item, and
Yeah.
get clarification.
yeah,
Let's find out which of the
Given-
remaining
right.
list doesn't wanna,
I make a motion, we table the item until we get clarification for the membership.
a second.
okay, motion made and seconded to table it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Same, so motion passes to table this until the next meeting. Workshop meeting. Charter Commission will conduct a workshop meeting to discuss and work on the proposed home rule charter for the city of Cotulla. Charter Commission will accept public input and provide an opportunity for citizens attending the meeting to be heard. My goodness,
Got a
there was a
crowded,
lot of interest in this
we have a crowded
last
chamber.
week.
So
And where are they?
also, at this point, number 7, it gives the commission the opportunity to talk amongst each other about the charter
Right,
and decide if they want to make any changes, or if they're happy with what's in the book, or just any amendments to anything that's in the charter.
right. That's what we're free to talk about it. If y'all don't mind, I'd kinda like to just go through it
Absolutely.
later, but to start off with, any general questions you might have, any of us.
Well, I've been going over it, and I guess everything's okay, as far as I'm concerned.
Should we look into maybe opening this up as far as like, we'll have a couple of weeks, I'm assuming, for the holidays to kind of look at some of this stuff. And I think we'll have more members here. So we can kind of look to where we
Yeah.
can,
That's why I
See
was
where we
hoping we could informally discuss any problem areas we think might be there.
Yeah.
What stands out to us tonight, we can work on it and clarify it for the next meeting.
yeah. I mean, I did some light reading. I mean, on the surface, it seemed well. I mean, some of the verbiage, I mean, I can
Yeah.
in detail look at that in the next couple of weeks.
I noticed that at the previous meeting, there was a concern for the timeline, but I think it's,
Now,
because
Doesn't
ultimately, it's
seem
gonna be the
rushed to
people.
me.
Ultimately, it's gonna be the people who decide
Yeah,
by vote, popular vote.
given the timeline, is that something that we need to be meeting up once a week? So because I believe the date was February 9th, so that would mean us meeting at least once a week. So
I
we can
think so,
kinda,
or every other week.
But being that the date today, as opposed to the date next week, is gonna be even worse because of the holidays.
Yeah,
So I don't know that we'll get much cooperation
I
from the
think,
people.
yeah, we probably need to wait at least 2 weeks for the next one.
Till next year?
Well, that's maybe after Christmas.
yeah, the first Thursday after the New Year is going to be on the 5th of January. I think that would be a good time to
Yeah.
kind of give us some time to peruse
Okay,
this.
that gives us 3 weeks.
Yeah. Do you think
Yeah.
that's too much? Do you think that's because I
For
mean
us to decide.
from the 5th to the 9th gives us a month to kind of meet up, get input from the community. You think that's enough time to?
Personally, I would like to meet in 2 weeks, but that's because I'm here all the time. I'm not leaving town. And it'll give us a chance to talk things through, and if it's not well attended by the public for public input, it'll give us a good opportunity to talk about what we discovered while we were reading it.
Yeah.
And hammer a few things out to where we agree with what we would like to see. And be able to listen to input and explain why
Yeah.
we came up with what we did.
So you're preferring 2 weeks?
Personally,
Which would
I'll
be-
go with whatever you decide, whatever you want to do.
I'm the same. I don't have any
The
There's
29th?
long vacations out of country. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
around the area.
That's why I know he's not here. He's out of country.
Out of the country?
Huh?
He's out of the country?
Yeah, on a ship. Cruise.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's rushed for us to have a meeting in 2 weeks.
29th.
29th?
29th?
Hey, my birthday.
Oh, your December birthday, huh?
Yeah.
Mine's in a couple days.
On a Thursday
All right.
or a
17th.
Wednesday? I
Huh?
think maybe Wednesday would be
Uh,
better for other people to come in.
Wednesday, Thursday. I'm fine with Thursdays. I mean, keep it kind of uniform.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he might miss it because of church. I don't go to Wednesday
Oh, and the
church.
Wednesdays.
He does go to Wednesday church.
Okay, let's do it 29th.
Third, which will be on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm.
Well, we'll call that our next meeting. Good.
On the 29th.
I don't want anything to seem rushed either.
No, absolutely, and that's something that, I mean, I really want to get the people's input, and you know, I want them to be able to come here and give us what they really think about
Whatever
any
concerns that they
changes,
might
stuff
have.
like that. Now, is there anything out of the ordinary if we do a town hall?
I think that'd
It
be
might-
nothing
it
more
might-
than a regular meeting that we try to get more people to come to.
Be the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing. We'd have to call it a meeting
Yeah.
for us to be there.
I have a question, gentlemen. Where would you guys designate that, your guys' actual meetings? Are they gonna continue to be here or at the Civic Center?
I'm fine here.
'Cause,
Unless we get some more people showing up.
well, it's just the fact that the equipment and stuff has to continue to go back and forth.
Oh, yeah, I'd like it here.
But it's here
personally.
the majority
Yeah, I
of the
don't want any
time?
position
No, it's at the
here.
Civic
Yeah.
Center.
Oh.
The majority of the time we'll have
And
our-
we're closer to the people if they want to talk to us, be more intimate.
I'm sure we can make some arrangements around
Yeah.
here if they need to.
Exactly, it can be right here.
Yeah. Yeah, here is fine.
Okay. That
We're-
way-
we're
that
making
way
it
I
here.
can, you know,
Juggle.
yeah, the equipment, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay?
So,
And I'm fine having it here.
so you're deciding to keep the meeting here, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that would be great.
6:15, still okay?
6:15 is
Yeah.
still.
Time?
So,
Hi, well, I'm glad you could make it, but it's too late to get off of the board.
how are you?
Oh,
We were just kind of discussing the next date.
The next day?
Next date.
date
Oh, okay.
to meet and how often to meet, stuff like that.
Given that we have the deadline is the 9th of February, it's kind of a shortened schedule, and I want to give, well, all of us, we want to give folks an opportunity to come, attend, give their input,
Right.
and give us an opportunity to kind of review. And I mean, I've looked at it on the surface, it looks fine.
It looks fine.
Some verbiage here and there, so.
What we're trying to do tonight, since we don't have anybody to input from the public,
Right,
is for us to discuss what we've looked at by glancing it over, and if
Right.
we have any problem areas
right.
or questions
Okay.
in general.
Okay,
Then spend the next 2 weeks studying it in depth, so when we come back on the 29th of December,
29?
Thursday, the 29th at 6:15 here,
Okay,
we can talk about it amongst ourselves more in depth.
okay.
Maybe even have some questions to give to the city to have answers by our next meeting.
Okay,
Do you want to have the attorney here?
Steve?
I don't think so, unless we've got some specific questions that he needs to ask, give answers to. This, we may have some questions for him.
Yeah.
We can just play that by ear.
Yeah,
If
Yeah, I
you want him
mean,
here, we can get him here.
I'm sure we can contact him at any time, in the next 2 weeks, if we need to. If we have a specific question.
Really, I don't want his input as much as I want the city's.
Communities.
Larry Dovalina that's done more delving into other communities.
Right, and he's more familiar with the,
Yeah, yes. But Steve is familiar too. Don't get
right,
me
right,
wrong.
right, right, but
So should we, do we need a vote for motion for the next meeting? Or should we just
Can
kind
do
of?
Let's do it
yeah.
okay, I make motion for the next meeting.
at 12:29 at 6:15 here.
12:29 at 6:15 at the city hall.
Okay.
I second the motion.
Is that
Motion
the
made and seconded to have the meeting here. Elsa made the motion, Pablo second. Just like we told you earlier, 12:29, 6:15 PM here. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. That motion passes. Oh, man, we're just motion crazy.
Motion carried.
Well, we still haven't talked then about anything that comes to your mind about
Does
this
anybody have
project.
any,
Yeah,
any concerns
Let's
so
kind of
far?
skim, like you said, skim through this and.
Yeah, I was looking for concerns before getting into detail. Did anything stand out as a problem while you're skimming it?
To me, because I just kind of skim it
I mean,
really
and I
fast.
think all of us can agree here, that we want to make sure that it benefits the community.
Right,
You know, all of it, because I mean, yeah, this is gonna be beneficial for us, kids, grandkids, and so forth
the
and so on.
future.
So,
Why is this going to be beneficial?
well, and I mean, making changes, hearing the input from the folks like that, and that's.
Yeah, but I'm wondering, do we know why this is beneficial? Why we're doing this?
Well, I mean, I know that there was some talk about annexing properties outside of the community that, of course, they would get taxed, and this, of course, would be beneficial to the community.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in the long term.
I
One of
just-
the biggest motivators for this is also to be able to extend the ETJ of the city of Cotulla past the 1 mile to a 6 mile radius, which would allow for the city of Cotulla, not per se annex, but to maybe have concessions with the oil field companies that are using our resources within the city limits.
Right. I want us to understand that.
Right,
There is a real tangible reason for doing this.
Yeah.
Is that the main one?
that's the number one reason.
It really is, but we've kind of been sidestepping the issue.
So explain that again, to increase the area and for the,
It lets the city go beyond a 1 mile ETJ
Mhm.
out of.
which
you
is the
said 6
limitations
miles.
right now.
And that is our limitation.
Okay,
Specifically, the first issue that is a real one is the Versada plant out southwest of town. And also the plant, the other company. They're both the gas treatment plants.
Uh-huh.
They're beyond the 1 mile. We're trying to be able to annex them if we need to get them on their tax rolls.
Those, and I don't have exact numbers in front of me, but I know the tax base for those companies there, the gas plants and the one in Gardendale would probably double the property tax base in the city of Cotulla.
And yeah, that
Yeah.
was, so is there a specific number as far as how many entities that would be?
I would have to find out for you.
See, that would be a good question to have the
Yeah,
city
and that would be
answer.
good information to have if the citizens, were to bring it up. We would have the answer.
Right. I'm aware, I believe that there's 3 at this point, 3
Three?
refineries or gas plants. So there's the one in Gardendale, and I believe there's 2 over towards the Cochina Ranch. one over here for Chino Ranch.
See, there are quite a few others too, just beyond the 1 mile.
Mm-hmm.
But the smaller ones,
Mhm.
but they'll still be consequential.
Right.
Accumulate with the different
That-
ones.
Well, the city will get some funding for. The city doesn't get much in the way of
Right.
tax base from all this oil field activity.
Mm-hmm.
This will give us a bigger budget.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, how much from these entities, how much will be,
Yeah, I
The
don't
community
You
have
said
city
the
double,
numbers,
double the
but-
amount?
Sir?
Did you say double the amount of tax?
Yeah, I was told that it would actually double
Money?
the property tax rate.
I can see that probably easily.
Right,
It may be much more than double.
right.
And the other thing is, this gives the city the right to enter into a contract with some of these entities where we don't actually have to annex them, but they'll get taxed in lieu of annexation
Correct.
if it's agreeable to us and to them. Maybe for a certain number of years, maybe forever. But it gives the city
Do not,
the ability,
not to annex them, but act like if they were annexed.
yes.
What is
Where
the
they
purpose of that?
agree to pay the city a certain amount of money.
Yeah,
It's
lieu of
in
tax.
lieu of taxes.
right.
it's a one-time thing, or is
Yearly.
it
Oh,
recurring?
it's yearly.
Yearly.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
For the
what,
length of the
why
contract.
would you do that? Like,
So you don't have to annex them and run city
oh,
utilities out there,
Oh, okay. All right,
sewer and water.
yeah.
It's good to know.
Part of the, I think at the last meeting that we had, Steve was mentioning that aspect, and that the state of Texas actually, I guess with frowns on annexing, especially in the bigger cities. And the state actually tries to fight cities from annexing. So the process is actually a lot easier to make a deal with them in lieu of tax.
Mhm.
So, and then we actually get benefit out of it, and they don't just use our infrastructure and use and abuse.
For
Right,
their
right.
workers and
Yeah.
stuff, they're utilizing the city's assets.
Yeah,
Right, and then you have the taxpayers that are flipping the bill for the
right.
companies. That's how it is now.
But what I'm saying is, why wouldn't the companies require to be annexed so they can get the services? As far as they're concerned.
Well, they're not worried about getting our services for their company.
Uh-huh,
They don't need it. They're already self-contained,
uh-huh,
in operation. They have everything they need.
okay,
They don't need our sewer
yeah.
or our water.
And is the amount we charge, well, it would be in the contract, but is the amount we charge equivalent to what we would have collected?
Most likely,
taxes.
but that would be the city's prerogative on how much. It's
Or-
whether both
Or
parties
could they
agree.
say, well, I'm not gonna get the services, so make it a percentage or?
They
Yeah.
can use that for leverage too.
Yeah.
But see, right now, they've got the leverage of knowing that we do not have this kind of charter.
Mm,
So there is no way they need to negotiate with us right now.
yeah,
And they're not going to negotiate. They say, you can't talk to us about that. You can't even annex us right now. We're safe.
Right, until this comes
I've
into,
actually, not here in Tula, but in Dilley, I heard a comment from one of the owners, operators of one of these type of facilities. And this gentleman went to the council meeting, and, there was a question about injection wells around Freedom County. And he stood up in front of council and pretty much said that we have more money than you. You can sue us. We'll put you into the ground
wow,
Good.
because we have more money. And that was the general mentality, you know, and they had obviously no power. There's nothing they could do.
right,
And they didn't have the money to actually sue and
right,
get what they want. So that's, you know, that's kind of what I've seen. That's the general thinking.
mm-hmm,
Mhm.
of the,
That's
right,
what we're facing.
so, yeah.
The city is.
Right,
and that's the main reason for this. I didn't know that.
That's why I thought we ought to discuss it.
right,
No, absolutely, yeah.
right,
So this is not just an exercise to be doing.
Well, I was
something.
wondering what would be the benefits as opposed to right now.
That is a good benefit.
Yeah, it's
Not the only one
Yeah.
at all.
What are others?
Well, we have a city manager type of government
Yeah,
where the city manager actually conducts more of the
Yeah.
business and the mayor doesn't have to sign checks.
Yeah, that's, well, actually, that was one of my questions was, I mean, other than the taxing portion, Is there anything else that you all saw that maybe kind of popped out that maybe we need?
One of the
discussion,
things
more
that talks,
discussion?
yeah, I would like to talk about, and I hadn't talked to anybody in the city about it, and they may not even want to do this, but I think we ought to talk about it and ask them why they don't want to do it, or didn't put it in here. And that is, it specifically calls out no pay for council members or mayor.
What,
And I
what,
know y'all have given of yourselves many, many hours, but like commissioners on the commissioner court,
Yeah.
they're all
Oh, yeah,
paid,
they
and the
get
county
paid.
judge.
They get paid good money.
very good.
Yes, I know,
Uh,
but in,
But what is, surrounding areas, do they pay? Daily, Pearsall,
Dilly-
Carrizo?
From the best that I know, Dilly pays
That's a
council members
question.
around $140 a meeting per council member.
Wow.
it's
So
not a
about
lot.
$140 a month, and that would go to the mayor and to the council. And this, I found this out, I would say around 2012, so it may have changed since then, but that's what they were doing back then.
We need to check on other towns.
Is it retroactive?
Yeah, back,
Way back,
Back pay?
And, well, the only concern I have with that is it's just when you start talking about money
I
and
do
money
know
going
that-
to people.
Sorry.
I just want to make sure that folks are okay and we have a general
I know that.
temperature
That
check
could be
on
a
that.
killer
It's
with the
just-
public.
I mean, I just want to make sure that, you know, that,
The
If they're okay with
council
it-
has voted on this before.
what's that?
The council has voted on actually being paid in the past, and it got shot down. At least one time in my tenure, the time I've been here.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring it up.
No,
because I
that's,
think
I'm glad you did.
the job everybody
Yeah.
does is commendable.
Yeah. No,
And it's-
absolutely.
Right.
I wish they did, because then it would allow people that don't have as much money to more easily serve.
Right.
Because it takes a lot of time away from business and job.
Now, one question I had, and maybe I didn't get to read to that, but when was the last time that they reconvened a commission to look into the charter? Do you all know that?
I don't think it's
I
ever
think
happened.
we, yeah,
Now, that's something that maybe every 10 years, that would be something that the commission can revamp
oh,
just to
it can,
kind of
it can
see.
be revised.
Yeah, every couple of years or every
Yeah.
year? or-
In
Well-
2017, this was an item on the agenda to establish a charter commission and to appoint members, and for one reason or the other, it didn't finish and it didn't happen.
I think what the question is, though, is not a prior attempt to do this, but how often do we get to adjust it, revise it,
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
it gets approved the first
I mean,
time?
I believe.
Is that what-
yes, I believe that is,
A
once
question.
you have a charter, I think it's at the pleasure of the council when it gets adjusted.
I mean, just given that, you know, the winds change,
Yeah.
and progress happens, and,
Right.
and, you know, that you may want to, even if you just are looking at it, everything's good, the commission, not us, other folks in the community can say, you know, all right, that's good. And maybe 20 years down the road, things change, we need to kind of
Growth.
amend some stuff, take some stuff away.
Larry talked about this at the last meeting.
Mhm.
I don't know if it
I
flew
think-
right by us or
No,
not.
I think I do remember.
It's on page
But he
39.
said it varies from community to community. Some look at it every year or every other year and change just little things, and other communities might go 40 years and never touch it.
Oh, I
Right.
mean, yeah, well, we're no San Antonio.
Exactly, that's what he was saying.
You know, I
Uh-huh.
think 10 years would be, I don't know. I mean, that's just a number I'm throwing out there.
But it could be at the pleasure of the citizens and council. Citizens can approach the subject too.
No, because I just, you know, how things change and you might need to progress and this and that. And it's always good to look at, you know, dust it off and kind of look at it with a commission and kind of say, okay, we need to take that out, we need to put that in.
And it's not necessary to wait for the timing, and if something happens, they can,
Mhm.
I guess, through the city council.
And that's something that we can put in there.
Revise it.
At the,
Well, I'll ask that question too, then have answers for us for the next meeting. How
Okay.
often can it be modified? But one reason we're doing this is to grow the city. So there will be changes.
Sure.
Right. With the
One of the
growth.
things we're trying to do still is get the foreign trade zone designation.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Pull things in from further out and then, man, that can change. I'm learning more about why some companies come here and some don't. They could start coming.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's, I'm thinking, I want to think 50, 100 years ahead when all of us will not be here. But our descendants, and hopefully that,
Yeah.
you know, we leave
They
the
won't,
community better off than we
they
had
won't be
it.
saying bad things about what we left them.
Exactly.
PG, on page 31 of this little booklet, there's a little section where, section 9.03, charter review, and it kind of goes over on how often it can be reviewed and
Yeah, and this, there is a periodic charter.
903. A lot of these things are discussed in here. We'll be finding out as we get into it in detail.
Yeah, no, I mean, over the next couple of weeks, I want to look into other communities and kind of see,
What they look like.
you know, exactly what they look like, where we can improve, where, you know.
One of the things that's good in our favor, I think, is I compared our city with other small towns around here, even the ones that are bigger than us, like Pearsall,
Pearsall.
Lusnan. And we're head and shoulders above where they are as far as running things right.
Yeah.
So we can look at what they're doing, but we don't necessarily have to do what they're doing.
Oh, no, just
It's
build
like
on
discipline.
the
It
current
grew, like, all of a
successes.
sudden grew like,
Uh-huh. So, yeah, we see what works and doesn't work for them.
So far, the questions, just so we're all on the same sheet of music. We're looking at the council members getting paid. Or-
Just a question. I'm
Just a-
not
just-
pushing
yeah.
it at all.
Yeah, just.
I want to
just-
know why the city
information,
didn't put it in
yeah.
here.
And then,
I don't think.
how often the modification of the charter.
modification of charter.
Well, we can include that, the salary, whatever we decide, and then eventually the
Yeah.
people will decide. They're gonna be
Absolutely,
voting.
and that's something that, before we do
Well,
anything, I want to make sure that the
We
folks.
don't want to put something in here that would kill it with the public.
Yeah.
That's the deal. And maybe enough people in town don't want councilmen to get money.
And
for whatever
that's-
reason,
That's exactly, what, you know,
Selfish, who knows?
well, I mean, we just want to make sure that folks,
Well, we
you
can
know,
just-
have a say-so in
Yeah.
what we're looking at here.
They may express real clearly what they think about it.
Right.
Well, it's only right,
It is. I mean,
Because
they're
all
the
that
only
time-
ones that don't get paid, right?
and it's not that much either.
No.
Right.
It's not like the county.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I just want to make sure that, you know, when it comes to money,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
you know,
Not every,
it's something that, yeah, I want to make sure that we get enough community input before we,
right. Yeah.
we shoot the rocket up in the air.
That was all that stood out to me as a question. I'm sure getting into details, I might find something.
Something
Else.
else.
Then, of course, the tax entities part of it. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's, okay, I wrote it down. Yeah,
Do
that's.
you know if there was a city police department
I was just gonna say
included in
that.
this?
When I read through it, I did not see anything that said anything about having a city police
Well,
department.
what do you have now?
We have code compliance and judge, municipal judge, and that's currently all we have.
Who's the judge?
Miss Vicky Rodriguez. And our code compliance officer
That's something-
is Joey
Joe
I think that we need to look
Garcia.
at.
Garcia.
Municipal Police Department.
So, the county handles everything with the police,
Yes, sir. At this point, the sheriff's department handles everything within the city limits.
and you don't have any arrangement or any,
Currently, there is no arrangement. There was a prior arrangement, I think, about 4 years ago that lasted with 2 years. And I know the city was paying somewhere upwards of $400,000 a year to that contract. So, but it became, I think it became to the point where it just wasn't financially feasible for us, so we had to end the contract.
How, was it like a loss of money as far as with the city? I mean, was
Yes,
it-
sir, and, ticket proceeds and just what was being brought in was not keeping up with the budget. So we had to let it go. So, of course,
That's
you
good to
know,
know.
the city doesn't have a budget kind of like the county does. You know, they bring in far more money than we do, and
maybe once
$400,000
this is
is a big
established,
Yes.
it'll come
Mhm.
in the future.
And give a little better delineation between the county and the city roles around here. City will be able to operate more on its own.
you know, the city operates right now. We're operating around a $7 million budget per year, where the county, I believe, is upwards of 25 million. So there's a big discrepancy there between the city and the county.
What do you foresee then, about 15,000, 15? When this comes into effect, how much tax revenue
I can't answer that.
is it?
I really can't. We'd have to.
Yeah, those are the questions that we need
that
answered.
was
We'd have to
the
talk
double.
to Jorge
Next,
about
Double the
it.
figure, double.
Yeah, 15 million, 20?
So, I know I've been told that it would double the property tax base. And I was told at that time, I think our total income for top property tax base was $750,000 a year.
I like the idea of 2-year terms. Was that what I read on this?
It was 2 years, yes.
Okay. I like 2 years.
I agree.
And that's what we're used to now.
Now, what are your thoughts on the mayor having more authority as a voting member, or just being the same as it is? I mean, what are your thoughts on that? It's a question that I was reading this.
That came to my mind too.
Yeah,
This says no,
unless
unless
it's a tie.
you can change it.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, I mean, what are your thoughts on that, or is that something that we need
As
to
a
get
mayor,
the
as
public's?
a previous mayor.
Yeah, exactly. Given that you were a mayor yourself.
I had to make a lot of decisions because it was a tie. But is there a possibility for a tie now?
There still is if there's council members that don't come to the meeting.
Sure.
Oh, they don't show up.
If a gentleman, if one of them misses a meeting, there has been tiebreakers that the mayor has had.
I remember for the tax for the hotel motel, I had to break it.
Wow.
It was and actually there was not enough to make a tie, but then Tanis said, "Okay, I'll go," and he was going against the other group, and I said, "Well, I'll break the tie," and that's when it passed.
Mhm.
Now, is that something maybe we can look into next week?
Sure.
Trying to get the
Why they put it the way they did?
yeah.
Paulo, what is your thought though on it?
Is it a good
Why
thing,
not
bad
give
thing?
him a little bit more authority? The
Vote
mayor.
every time?
So I know that in San Antonio, I believe the mayor
allowed.
is a voting member.
Yeah.
Hmm. What that could get into is the mayor could create a tie in that case. You know what I mean?
Which
If only 4 people show up for a meeting, and you get 2 and 2,
Yeah.
there's no tie, and you can't break the tie.
well, and see,
Then if he didn't vote, there wouldn't be a tie in the first place.
Currently, you have 5 council members and mayor. So the mayor has voting authority that would put 6 votes at the table, which could theoretically create a tie.
All the
on any
time.
agenda item.
You see what I'm saying?
That's
So that may be why they,
That might be the reason.
but we can give the city an opportunity to tell us that's why
Mhm.
they recommend it that way.
Mhm. And we don't need to, or well, and I'm just saying this, I mean, where it said council members keep the same number as 5 council members, or
I
because,
think that's what's recommended in here, isn't it?
because I saw,
It was specified.
yeah,
Or did
I,
it give a different number?
no,
It's
it
5.
said, it's 5. I'm trying to find where it
Okay.
said it at.
Mayor and 5 council members.
Yeah, I would say keep it
Okay.
the same. There's no, I don't see
Yeah.
any. But I didn't have that question about the mayor and the,
And the city council.
yeah. It's something we can look into.
I figured the city had a good reason for what they put. We'll just find out what it is.
So what is it right now? 5 and 1 also? 5?
5 council members.
and the mayor.
The mayor.
Is there a tie frequently or?
No, in the time I've been here, I think it's a handful of times that it's happened. So the way the current structure is. But you'll
It's
have
work-
one council member that doesn't show up, and then you'll have 2 and 2, and then the mayor would have to vote.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's something that's worked, I mean,
Yeah.
why,
Leave it alone.
Yeah.
why
It
add on to it?
They've learned to work with it.
Mhm.
Exactly, yeah. But I'm still curious.
Yeah. We will find out why they like it that way.
One thing I do see is that, you know, all the years I've been here, council's been pretty united. You know, just hasn't been that many ties, just because of the unification and that everyone has been wanting the city to grow and move forward in a positive manner.
That's a
Yeah.
good thing when everyone's on the same,
really
On the
good.
same- yeah, same
working
ship.
on the same thing.
And of course,
Not every
that's the
town
big-
can say
This is
that.
what's helped Cthulhu, yeah, as opposed to the other towns you were
You
talking
better
about.
believe it. I love hearing it when Dovalina talks about how easy it is to work with companies around here, coming to us to think about moving here, as opposed to Pearsall, for example. Pearsall's running them away.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, for them to all be on the same sheet of music, wanting to progress the community, that's a good thing, and yeah, it's worked in Cthulhu's favor. Let's see.
I'm just thumbing through here to see what, if anything, it stood out to me. Nothing else really stood out to me.
Yeah, as I was reading, it was pretty much, I was in agreement with a lot of what it was said here. I did have a question though on eminent domain.
What page?
Page 3. What are your thoughts on that? For or against, or adding or taking away verbiage?
Well, you gotta have eminent domain, that's on everything.
Mm.
You don't get anything done without that sometimes.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm just curious. Is there anything that
But see,
needs to be
this-
added on?
This is about as generic as you can get
Yeah.
to keep it legal. It's like one, may only exercise the power of it in the manner authorized or permitted by the Constitution and laws of the state. So it's not any special authorization here.
Yeah, no, I was just looking at it and just curious to get,
I don't
Your
think
input.
we would want to stop it,
yeah, no, I'm just,
take it
I
out.
just wanted to get your input on it. Yeah, everything else, I mean, I
And even that is similar to the argument for making the ETJ larger and being able to go at 6 miles.
Mm.
Because a lot of companies will not want to sell you land for a project, but then they'll say they're going to fight you. I'll fight you in court, so you can't take it.
So you can use this.
But there are advantages to them if you say, okay, if we do that and we fight you in court and win, because we will,
Mm.
if it's legal, then they can get some punishment out of it where they may not be able to use the land that's adjacent to it. That happened out here on this bypass,
Mm.
the bypass loop. The landowner didn't want to sell it, and he,
The one on Mustang Creek, is it?
no, the one from the airport to the interstate
Oh.
access road.
Okay.
That mile and a half of the Joel Rodriguez loop.
That's right. That's right.
They were going to fight him, and they would have won. And they said, if we go through this as a fighting deal, we will not allow you to have access to this road through the fence. Because we got it by eminent domain. We don't have to give you a right-of-way, an entrance,
Mm.
off the road. So none of that would have been accessed for residential use or commercial use. But, so he decided to sell it at fair market value. Nobody took advantage of him at all. I don't know what the price was, but it was a fair price. And he has the ability, they actually built some entrances to his property every quarter or third of a mile.
Mm.
Who are they? The Newmans?
The Newman family. So, that gives them a reason to want to work it out. And also, they get the same tax advantages of it having been condemned
Mm.
by eminent domain. If the city just gives them a letter saying, if you don't sell it, we will take it from you by eminent domain. That's good enough for the IRS.
Mm.
We did that at the airport. Same family, by the way.
Wow.
So they willingly sold it at an agreed to price.
Mhm. Now, on city administration, I mean, of course, we agreed on everything on the up and up. I remember, was it Mr. Lovalina or was it Mr. Peña that mentioned something about departments?
I remember something on that line, but I don't remember what it was. And it may have been talking like city police.
Okay. I'll see if what we can. I'll just put that as a question, or what clarify on departments.
Yeah. I'll take my list and give it, to the city manager too, to have some answers for our next meeting.
Yeah. I'm writing. Everything.
It's
I'm
probably the
writing
same, but I would say you do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because we're not supposed to collude with each other after we leave here.
Yeah.
We can say hello on the street, but we can't
That's
talk
it.
business.
Yeah. No, I'm fine with pretty much everything that's on here. I don't want to complicate it
Yeah.
if it doesn't need to be complicated, but
Appreciate
once,
that.
once again, I mean, I just want to make sure that the folks have an opportunity to come and give their
Absolutely.
input if they, want to give their input. I
We
mean,
want their input. It's not just we're willing to get it, we want it.
yeah.
Because it'll help to maybe improve this or whatever.
Now, is that something that, when our meetings, is it pushed on social media or is it?
Y'all are live right now.
Yeah.
Oh, we're live.
No, but
Whoa.
but I mean, like the initial meeting that's set, is it pushed on the city?
It's on the city website.
Okay.
It gets put on the city
Now you
website.
tell us.
Okay.
Maybe there should be a little more advertisement on Facebook or something like that.
Yeah, just to give, Facebook tends to be something where folks kind of look into.
So, also, I'm curious, the question that the commission has about city departments, what was it?
I just remember that Mr. Peña, or I don't know if it was Mr. Peña or Mr. Lovalina had mentioned something on departments. I forgot what it was. I'll see if I can get clarification. I mean, given that, you know, once this
Okay.
type of government gets approved, I mean, what, you know, just to, I guess, just a refresher on what he mentioned on that.
Okay, I understand. In the book here, it mentions departments and that city administrator, he's responsible for all departments, establishing the department. He can choose a department head, or he can choose multiple department heads for each. So he could have one guy run 3 departments,
Mhm.
or he could have each department with one person that runs it. But it is at the discretion of the city administrator on how that would operate.
And currently, the city administrator
The system is currently,
has all.
Individual or?
I think the council votes on it now, don't they, for employees?
no, well, it depends. An officer, a department head and officer is gonna be a different thing. So an officer of the city administrator recommends to the council, and the council votes on it. A department head, the city administrator has full discretion.
Yeah,
So an officer would be somebody like Bianca, which is city secretary. She would be voted in by council,
yeah.
under the recommendation of the city administrator.
But the hiring and firing would be by the city
City
administrator.
administrator
Manager.
would be the one that hires and fires. When it comes to officers of the city, the termination is by the city council. And that is how the actual ordinance is currently written.
Just for clarification too, they're called city managers, aren't they? On a
But
home rule?
it depends on education level. City manager, there are some that's called city manager. City administrator has more responsibilities than what a manager would be. A general city manager is gonna go to council for almost every decision, where administrator has the authority from the council to just go ahead and make the decision.
And maybe that's something that we can look into for next,
Yeah,
for the next meeting.
I think we've covered things pretty well,
Okay.
even for a start.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a pretty good start.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I second.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
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 We're adjourned.